Happy Friday, everybody. This is Dr. Scott. So I have one thing I want to talk about today, going into the weekend and having to do kind of with this little mini series I'm doing on habits, breaking bad habits, implementing good new habits. And this isn't going to be a long video, so listen up. Here we go. There was a psychologist, some of you guys probably remember the name, Carl Jung. Jeung, I think is how you spell his last name. And this is a quote he said: "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate." Think about that for a second. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate. Like, oh, this is just bound to happen. It's my genetics. It's just kind of the way it is, right? But the thing is as they studied this and how the human brain and kind of we work is we do so many things throughout our days and in our lives that are subconscious or unconscious, right? Think about that. So when it comes to habits, easy example would be when you're little, you have to learn to tie your shoe, right? And you have to go step by step every single time you put those shoes on. But as an adult, do you have to do that? Do you have to sit there and think about it? No, it's just automatic. It's like an unconscious thing that you've learned. So let's think about that. You can apply this in so many other areas. This happens with good habits and bad habits. Okay, so here's the exercise. Here's my challenge for you today. Maybe you do this over the weekend. Maybe you do it a couple days next week during your work week. But you take an inventory of your entire day, from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed. Write down every single thing that you do in a day. And that could include an even bigger challenge would be write down, keep your journal by you, keep your phone by you, whatever, however you want to do this, even the thoughts that you have. And you might be blown away. I know I was. It's like every single thing I do during the day, every thought that I have, positive or negative, I try to write as much as I could down. So my alarm goes off at 6:15 a.m. Write that down. I hit the snooze button and go back to sleep. Okay, my alarm goes off 10 minutes later. Again, I hit the snooze button and I'm like, oh, I start to think, oh man, I'm so tired. I don't want to get up today. This is going to be a drag of a day. It's going to blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I hit the snooze. I go kind of groggily, kind of lay there, and then the alarm goes off 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later, and I finally drag myself out of bed and I go brush my teeth and I get in the shower and the list can go on and on and on, right? So that was an example of, number one, not starting my day out very well because my mindset, my what I'm telling myself as I'm laying there in bed is this is already going to be a bad day because I'm tired, right? It's a powerful thing. More powerful than you'd actually probably imagine. So then what you do this all day, okay? And then that day, the next day, whenever you want, you sit there and you take every line, everything that you've done or every thought that you've had through that day, and it's going to be hard to do every thought, you know what I mean? Just kind of some of the ones that you can write down and you think about writing down. You either put a minus sign, a plus sign, or an N by each line item. Okay, the minus would be something that you're like, wow, that was a negative thought, or wow, that's not a good habit. I shouldn't have done that. It's a negative thing. Positive would be a positive habit. Okay, so anything in your life, positive thoughts, positive things that have happened, positive behaviors you've done, etc. And N would be neutral. So you took a shower. That could be a positive, but it's kind of a neutral event. So there's a lot of neutral events in our lives too. When you start to digest this and look at this and analyze this, it can be pretty eye-opening, like I already said, as to, man, I didn't even know I was doing these things or having this many negative thoughts. Okay, and when you have that inventory, you're gonna start implementing from the last video the things you wanna change. Right? So using the 2-minute rule and the habit stacking rule, those two systems, the two concepts we talked about last time. So you can start to change these things intentionally in your life. And for me, in that example right there, is I just have to intentionally somehow create a system where when I wake up in the morning, I try not to hit snooze, number one. That's kind of I just have to not hit snooze. I start with gratitude practice, or I start with some sort of positive affirmation work, or whatever it is for you, instead of starting my day with that negative mindset. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, it's gonna be a bad day, I got so many things to do, how am I gonna get it all done? That stress, that worry. I know a lot of you guys wake up every day and that's what you're feeling, and that's what you're telling yourself. The research shows this over and over and over. What we tell ourselves, even silently in our own heads, is more bound to come true the more you repeat it, okay? So starting off, now that's just an example, okay? It could be with nutrition, it could be with exercise, it could be any habit, negative, positive, that you're doing, that you can start implementing the 2-minute rule. So start changing things, 2 minutes or less of gratitude as I'm taking a shower in the morning or something like that. 2 minutes or less, and start stacking these positive new habits on top of each other. So the challenge today, just keep an inventory of your actions, your behaviors, and your thoughts through your day, and then put a minus, plus, or N by each one and evaluate it, right? So a lot of us want to change. We want our lives to be better. We want our health to be better, but we're not necessarily willing, or we don't know what to do to take action. This is an example of an action step exercise that you can do. Simple, takes a little energy, takes a little effort. You don't have to do it for more than a day or two. See what happens. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye. Dr. Scott here. Bye.